couple of minutes. This is Mike there working with the biggest torque wrench I ever did see, the tail rotor of a Hiller. And once we get started, you can ask Michael questions about, basically ask him questions about anything you see in here or questions you've got about Hiller, whatever. And we'll start shortly. I'll just take you for a little tour around the hangar. This is Mike's personal hangar. And he's got a bunch of Hillers in here. And they are in various stages of completion of some serious maintenance work. And I have no idea what that is. Oh, I know what that is. I gotta turn that down. Hold on. That's an ad. We have a large inventory of. Okay. They just started playing an ad. I don't know if this is live yet or what. If anybody's listening and can hear me, could you just say something? There's 19 of you there. You can do a chat. Let's see if I can get the chat to show on this. Nope. Okay. Oh, there's one. Okay. Hey there, PK41. Thanks for joining us. And sorry about the short notice, everyone. I wasn't really expecting to do this. But I am at Michael's house, and he's working on helicopters. It's him and also mechanic Kenny, who's not in here right now. And I just thought I would take the opportunity to show you folks what's going on in here. So this is the hangar, and you can see it's just full of helicopters here and a plane, because what the heck, it is a hangar. So I am going to come over to Michael, and if you've got questions for him, like what the heck he's doing, that's a question. Or if he wants to, when he's done doing that, he wants to say hello, and we can do that too. And there are 29 people here. Mike?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Hello there, everybody. We appreciate you joining us on such short notice. What you're seeing here is the Foundation Hiller Aircraft Corporation sales fleet, training fleet, and maintenance training fleet that we're going to be using. So we brought everything here to my place in Arizona just because it's easier for me to do it. We have all the production stuff going on at the factory, and we're building out the facility so that we can begin this process there. Everything's going to take place at the factory, but right now, just to facilitate our operation and keep things moving forward, we decided to start this process here. So each one of these aircraft are going through a conformity check with our service rep and our main IA, which will be here in just a couple minutes. Right now we finished, we're on the last little pieces that are getting put on in rigging on that helicopter over there. That's a UH-12E3.
It's the one in the back there.
528 Hotel Alpha. And we've completely redone the blades. I'm sorry you weren't here yesterday because we had this head off here on the stand and we were doing the tracking and balancing. And it's pretty, actually, I learned a lot because, you know, we have the master blaster here, Kenny Bartholomew. He is the man. His father, as a matter of fact, ran the factory production back when it was in Porterville, like for many years in the 90s. And Kenny probably has done, I'm guessing, just about every job at Hiller and has been working on Hillers for about 40 years. So once he gets down here, you can ask him some questions about directly because he's the guy. I just work under him.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Adam wants to know, how long does a blade overhaul take on average?
Well, a blade is good for 6,600, a little over 6,600 hours of flight time. And depending on the blade, we have -03 blades and -04 blades. The 04 blades, which you see up here, these are good for a little over 6,600 hours, and they require an overhaul every 1,000 hours. It takes probably, they could get them in and get them done. If they get them in and you schedule it, you're probably looking at about a 3-week turn time. They actually strip everything, reseal them, inspect every aspect of it with cameras and all that, repair anything that needs to be repaired, and then paint them.
Okay, Adam says that's a lot longer than he thought. And he says thanks.
The amount of time that
the 6,600, yeah.
Yeah, and we actually are going for an extension of those times with the FAA based on the amount of time that they're actually getting on the blades. I mean,
Right.
literally, we're not seeing, unless somebody flies them in lower RPM, then the things that happen to blades don't happen. And so basically, the things that are required for the 1,000-hour, check rust and stuff like that, depending on where you're operating. And those are the things that we do.
Okay. Is that...
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody other questions? He's catching up with some important stuff there. Jan says, greetings to the GHHT Great Hiller Helicopter team.
Oh,
there you go.
Cool. We appreciate that. The team will appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go. And then Adam, who asked you a question, he's from northern Maine. So we have a lot of folks checking in.
That helicopter right here.
This one right here.
3829. We bought just north of Portland, Maine, from a guy near Sheridan, Maine, right outside of it. I can't remember the name of the town, but it was right near Sheridan, just north of Sheridan.
And we
bought it in dead of winter in Maine and had to dig it out of the snow to get it out.
Okay, we had somebody just checking in from Argentina. We've had Arizona also, folks checking in. Any other questions about the helicopters, what you're seeing? Someone whose name is in a language that I can't read says, great job. Okay, let's go show, I'm going to show you the one that he's just finished putting on the blades yesterday. That would be this one over here. And this one is almost ready to go. They're going to actually bring it out and fire it up later on. That's the cockpit here. Alaska. Dave is coming in from Alaska. Looks like the seats need to be put into place, unless you like to sit on hard stuff. Mr. Classic wants to know, is it hard to get a Franklin engine?
It is not. The Hiller Aircraft Corporation actually owns the type certificate for Franklin engines. It is not impossible, although Franklin is not actually producing any of the engines for Hiller, the vertical mounted engines, but we have some sources so that if you go on our website, hilleraircraft.com, go to our parts department, you can actually put a form in there and tell us what parts you need. If you don't have the service manuals or the parts manuals, you can download them for free off of our website as well. They may or may not be, you know, we're still working on the latest revisions, but of course A, B, and C, which is where the Franklins live, haven't been updated in many years. So they should be pretty standard.
This is what he's talking about a vertical engine, although this one is a Lycoming.
That's correct. That's a VO 540.
Right, and it's a vertically mounted, you see, where it's kind of standing up. And the if this was on an airplane, it would be pointing forward. So this top part, instead of it on an airplane, the prop would be attached to what here is on the top. Of course, that would be pointing forward. In this case, the transmission is attached to it. So I'm trying to remember if you got a Franklin around here. That's another Lycoming. He says he doesn't have a Franklin here. And then this is a turbine over here. Hello, everybody coming in. Hello. From Saudi Arabia. And I saw Argentina earlier. This one here still needs quite a bit of work, as you can see.
This one right here, guys, was my very first helicopter, 922 Mike Tango, which is where I met Kenny. When we bought it, it was a wreck. It was completely destroyed. They had done a hard landing in Colorado with a load, pickled the load. The blades went through the tail's sitting outside. The bubble was all broken out here. The gear was all broken out, and it was all crushed in here, which we completely disassembled it, repaired it by the manual, and then put it back in service. It's been flying since 2000. It's got a brand new engine on it. We just hung a brand new engine on it.
Let's go underneath here.
And
oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is which when is that going to get ready to go?
Well, these two will go first.
Right.
And then this one will be the next
okay.
up. We'll
so
put this back
number
in
3.
service and just reassemble, put the new bubble on. We have a brand new bubble for it. We'll put all that stuff on, and this one will be back flying again. This will be the next project. Then the next one after that will be 3829.
That's this one here.
And then the following after that will be a new tail section for 603 Romeo Alpha.
Right.
And once that tail section gets on, we can begin reassembling everything. It's actually flyable, but it does not have an engine. We sold the engine on it, and
not now at all.
It's next up.
So there are various stages of completing the helicopters that are in here. So Hill is going to be doing training in the helicopters that you see in here. They're going to be part of their internal fleet, and they'll be doing training for ag work, lift work, various things to get a regular helicopter pilot who's never flown a Hiller, get them all ready to fly Hillers, checked out and trained up so that they can do things like spraying and cherry drying and frost control and whatever else you do.
Vertical reference work. Mission ready stuff. The seating buckets. And I'd like to add that we have been able to entice, I guess you might call it, a very professional organization out of Utah, Platinum Aviation and Utah Helicopters. The owners there have agreed to come on board with Hiller. They are a training specialist. They are very, very heavily involved in the college education side and the connection to the colleges and schools. They've been doing that for years up in, and they're specialists in visas. So as we bring we're going to have to put about 750 of these helicopters in service in China. That's what we anticipate. And so there's going to be a big effort in China to do recurrent training, which they don't have. That's why they have such a significant safety record in China. It's not very good, and it's because they come. Well, it's really because they come to the U.S. They get the ratings. They're low time. They go back and they strap these people in millions and millions of dollars of helicopters, and they crash them.
Yeah.
And they do because there's no recurrent training.
Right.
So we're going to set up a recurrent training program over there. And we've got 2 projects working right now in China, 2 facilities, one in northern China and one in central China near Nanjing. And both of those are going to get involved in the production of, they're going to start building the tail booms and the cabin sections in China. And then we'll ship them back for our production line, which is to start up production. Phase 2 is 4 helicopters per month.
Somebody mentioned, and I hope I remember the name right, mentioned that his uncle, Dick Peck, I think he said, was a Hiller test pilot in California. I guess that's going back a while. Whoever told me that name, this scrolls right by. When in California? That's the question I'd like to know.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of comments and just people saying nice things about Hiller and thanking you for doing a good job here.
Well, we really appreciate everybody, all the people that have sent us. Hiller has survived over the last year because we've been able to. We've been honored enough that the people that have been basically disregarded, if you will, over the years by the previous owners and management have given us another opportunity to serve them. And you know, obviously it's a monumental task bringing back a helicopter like this back into production on little or no funding from China, because they can't.
Right.
They actually, you know, they were sold basically a bill of goods, and that's caught up to the new owners.
Right.
But we're working through it, and
I got a question about the car.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know if it was a 240.
It's a 280.
It's a 280. Yes. What year is it again?
1980, 81. It was the last year that Datsun built the car, and it has T-tops and louvers on the back that I took off, but yeah, it's the last year. It's got 6-speed overdrive.
T-tops. Very cool.
Very, very cool car.
Yeah.
It's Cheryl's. You know, Cheryl's family has owned this car since mile 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice,
so Dad
nice.
bought it.
Uh-huh.
When it had
Cheryl's his wife.
11,000 miles on it. When Cheryl graduated from dental hygiene school,
Uh-huh.
she came back from Australia and Asia from working over there. Her dad sold it to her. She's had it since. It's got 11,000 miles. It's got probably 200,000 miles on it.
Wow, nice car.
Yeah.
All right. What other questions about the helicopters, guys?
Let me tell Kitty I need a tool.
No questions about the helicopters? Come on, guys. Hello, Bolivia. Fernando's checking in from Bolivia. I don't know if there's a delay between when I see your texts and, you know, when I respond to them, or how long the delay is between you texting and or chatting and me seeing it. The range. You want to know the range of what? I'm sure it differs for every helicopter in here. But you know, I mean, a Saloy versus a yeah. So this is a Saloy. This is a Saloy. Tell us about this one.
This is a Saloy. This is a 250 C20B engine capable of a 420 horsepower. We have it derated. We operated at around 73%. We operated at 305 horsepower, and that's transmission limited, just like almost every other helicopter. The engine torque is on the transmission is what is always limited, basically. I'm not saying always, but for the most part, that's the limiting factor is the transmission.
So what is the maximum range on average for these?
Well, this helicopter right here, you probably would book it out at about 20 to 25 gallons an hour, say 25 gallons an hour.
Okay.
The standard tank holds 46 gallons, so that would put it less than 2-hour range at zero fuel, right?
Right.
So you're about an hour and 45 minutes on this helicopter. Now, up there, you see those two white tanks.
You see them up there over their orange tail?
Yep, over top of the tail there next to the boxes right in the center. Those are two saddle tanks, and they go on here, on these fittings here, and that provides an additional 46 gallons of fuel, or 40 gallons of fuel, excuse me. And so 86 gallons on 25 gallons an hour, you're really looking at about 3 hours. It runs, I would probably, if I was flying it somewhere at low altitude, you never go very high. But I would probably say you're looking at 60 to 75 knots, right in that range, depending on the wind. I'm talking about ground speed.
All right.
You can calculate that.
So somebody wants to know the ages of the helicopters that are in here. And also somebody else wanted to know...
from probably, say, I'm guessing this D model is probably one of the older ones because they were all converted. And this model right here is a 1964 model.
Okay.
And so I'm guessing, you know, as we go around, probably 389 for the next one. 63.
Okay.
And so you can see that basically when you get into the E models, you're going to be seeing 1959 and up.
Okay.
All the way to basically 1980s. That's about when they did their last real new helicopter. It was around the 80s.
Okay. So so what are your plans for making new Hillers? Someone has asked about that.
Okay. Well, the plan is this. The first step in ensuring the survivability of the airframe is to support the current fleet that's in the NAS right now, or the global market really. So and that's about 300 helicopters. So our first effort in inventory is to bring our our service inventories up and put in our serviceable inventory control system for our quality assurance program. Right. So once we have that stabilized, then the next thing is to bring the production level, production inventories up, which is slightly different. Things like, you know, skins and things like that you hardly ever, this production stuff.
Right.
We'll bring those inventories up to a 4 helicopter per month level. And so I'm guessing that once we're fully funded, and I expect that to happen in 30 to 45 days. We will begin. We're already building inventory for service, like we have right now. Forward skid tubes are in play. We have some tack generators on the Soloy that are in play right now that we're actually producing. Those cuffs, those pieces where the paddles stick into, those cuffs are in production right now in our facility, and some other things. So I'm guessing to spin up, it's probably going to take us a year from now to be at 4 helicopters per month production.
Okay, so well, in summary, you basically, the first goal is to be able to support the existing aircraft out there so that they can keep their ships running. And then once that is done, then you're going to start making the other parts that aren't necessarily support parts.
Simultaneous,
right?
But it's going to be easier and quicker for us to achieve support levels than it will be for production levels. Because thousands of parts on the helicopter all have to be sourced.
Right.
So
yeah. So the answer is about a year. They'll start making them again.
Production. Our refurb center should open in just a couple of months over at the factory. And simultaneously to that, we'll start our maintenance and pilot training programs.
Yeah, and Fernando says, so hopefully we'll be seeing Hiller airframes with a 2022 data plate.
With a 2022 data plate.
Yeah, exactly. He agrees.
You got it. Thank you.
And Kenny just came in and disappeared. Did he just run out?
No, he's right here. Kenny,
he's hiding.
Guys, let me introduce somebody who is famous, infamous, and the guy for Hillers. Guys, come on here, Kenny. This right here. This is the guy that is responsible. So if you want to blame somebody, you can blame this guy because he's the guy that got me into the business. He saved my ass on the same day that he got me started in Hillers.
And this is the same guy that he was talking about. This being his first helicopter here, and Kenny's the guy that helped him.
He put me with 21 years ago. He and I put that helicopter together.
Is it that long? Wow.
Flying.
Yep. Okay. Well, not this minute, but.
but it's our little baby.
Yeah,
so if you look at it, it's all painted, and the airframe's not painted, but everything got put back together. The new engines on it. But anyway, Kenny Bartholomew, his father. Kenny's done more jobs at Hiller over the 40 years.
Do you remember somebody named Dick Peck from the 60s? I don't know if you're that old.
That old.
Okay, he's not that old.
Also,
sorry.
He sent me this other guy here, Kenny. I got to show you here.
Yeah, I sent him a picture of somebody else. So the folks who've been asking questions that I missed, please ask them again. I'm sorry. They scroll by and then I can't see them. So if you have a question that he hasn't answered yet,
but anyway, Larry Lappy. You know that name? Probably before your time. That's the guy. Anyway, Kenny Bartholomew is our international service and maintenance representative. He's in charge of setting up or establishing the criteria, if you will. Kenny really is the back end of this whole thing. He's helping us establish the criteria for assembly, maintenance, service centers, all of that. And of course, every once in a while, I can coax him out here from his.
He's quiet though.
To help me, and he's helping me put all of these helicopters back in service so we can get them into
the helicopters in here.
Sales fleet for Hiller.
Okay. Edward says, wishing you all the best in your endeavor.
Thank you, Edward. Anyway, if
let's
you have
see.
any questions for Kenny, I'm sure he's happy to answer them.
There was a question.
Yes, so, this is so worn down. It's moving past the.
Just walking around the helicopters, man.
A wrench or
and those of you just tuning in, if you want to see the rest of this, Jan says that Hiller's rock. He'll like that. If you watch the video from the beginning, you should see anything that you missed. We did cover a lot of stuff here already. We've been live for about 25 minutes. So, I'm just walking around the hangar. Is there anything specific you want to see? You want to see a cockpit? Let's show you a cockpit of one that's almost ready to go. This is the one I think is going to be first done. Still needs its seats installed. Let's see if I can reach in here. So this is the cockpit layout, the instrumentation, and the seating design.
Yeah, by the way, kids, I've been trying to talk this woman into getting in one of these cars for many years, because once she does, she's going to abandon it and go to this for her cherry.
That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks.
This right here. If I thought I could get away with it, guys, I'd paint it green and slap a yellow deer on the side.
He says it was like a tractor for the air. I think that's that's probably why I'm not flying one. The seating, again, the seats are not in. They're over here on the side. But if you can imagine the cushion seats in. So the way the seating is in this particular helicopter is you've got the pilot sits in the middle. Unless the pilot is doing long line work, in which case he needs vertical reference work, and then he'd be sitting on the outside here. And there's a set of controls in each position, and then a passenger or an observer would sit on that other side if there was a passenger or an observer. What I think is kind of interesting, to me anyway, I'm used to an aircraft with lots of fairings on it. You know, I fly an R-44, and this is the way it is. It's like wide open like this. And what's interesting to me is that, like, here's the collective, and you can see the whole mechanism to the lines and everything. The wires are for the throttle. If I spin the throttle, you'll see the wires move. Actually, it's not doing it. Oh, there it goes. I don't know if you could see that. It's hard when I'm standing so close to it. But anyway, it's all mechanical, which is, kind of cool. And everything is exposed. So when it's flying, this is what you're seeing. You're going to see flying by. So that's kind of interesting to me. Let's see. Let's go over to that Saloy. I don't know what kind of instrumentation's going on in there. But let's see. Fernando says, can't wait for this to get off the ground. Modern helicopter manufacturers need to make affordable utility work accessible. So, Fernando. Yep. He says he's looking forward to working with you guys down there. Fernando, I think you said you were from Argentina? I don't remember. Okay, so here's one that's got the seats in it. This one's also almost ready to go. This is a turbine model, the Saloy. The pilot's going to sit on the left in this one, and there's a big, wide bubble window. I don't know if you could see that, how it's curved out. That's so that the pilot can look out down below while he's doing long line work, vertical reference work. And then this is the panel on here. Looks like it's not quite screwed in all the way yet. Again, these are all in maintenance right now. They're not flying yet. They've flown in the past, obviously, but they're just being reworked. And that's the Saloy. And again, the engine and everything's all just hanging out there. I just think this is pretty amazing. It's just sitting on these poles here. Let's see. Well, Edward, it really depends on what you're flying and what you're doing with it. I don't know. I found if you can make money with a helicopter, then maybe it is affordable. So.
There is no other.
There is no other?
There is no other helicopter.
He's sold.
Not for pound, dollar for dollar, performance over performance number, and durability in the field. There isn't anything. It doesn't have an equal.
So, someone just asked if the fleet is mostly in China, but my understanding is
I have 5 of them in China. I have FH-1100 sitting in China. I've got 3. I've got 3 of these UH-12E4s sitting in China, and I've got 2 E3s sitting in China with spray gear, and I've got 1 turbine like this. But it's a one-off. It's the one that our R&D was doing at the time that Hiller stopped operating, but it has a completely different head and paddle and blade system on it. It can lift its own weight. It's a monster crane.
It lifts its own weight. That's a fly. Yeah.
exactly like this. You couldn't really tell the difference except for the head and the blade.
But I think what he was asking about is there is an operating. I mean, there's lot of
nothing operating in China right now.
No. I mean, in general, you've got Hillers are operating around the world right now.
Around the world.
Right. So all around the world, there are Hillers currently operating.
Correct.
But as far as the ones owned by Hiller, you know, we've got these, and then we've got the ones in China.
Correct. Well,
okay.
These are, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So let's see, what else can I show you? You're welcome. So Walter wants to know, any parts support coming for the FH 1100?
We don't own the FH-1100. Hiller Aircraft Corporation does not own the type certificate for the FH-1100. That was purchased, if you will, or I should say stolen from from Hiller. No, it was.
Okay.
A lot of stuff was. It was a bad deal that was made by a guy, George Neville, down in Florida, who later was on the lam from the FAA and the feds and everything else, and for various things. He had a 10-year period where he was required to start producing it, or Hiller had the option to buy it back. That never, all that never happened, and it is completely, we have no idea where the tooling or all the extra parts that we took out of the factory are. A lot of the parts were things that crossed over to the Hiller and the FH-1100, and they took all that stuff and all the tooling and everything out of the factory. They got a judge to agree with them. I won't say anything except that they were able to manage it based on mismanagement by Hiller and our famous boy. But in any case, we're never going to build the FH-1100. It's not our aircraft any longer, and there won't be. I don't know what the status is of supporting it. There are still parts around, but we don't have any.
Sorry. There you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, unless I can find, oh, you know what?
Okay. Any other questions? Because if we have no more questions, I'm going to probably shut it down. Okay. Well, this is, glad you folks could join in. I'm sorry there was last minute notice again. I'm visiting with Mike here in Arizona, and thought about doing this just to give my channel people something to look at. I'm sorry, because I'm, you know, kind of on vacation now. And I hope you found this interesting, and, you know, keep Hiller in mind, and the company's coming along, and maybe we'll do it again. So maybe we'll do one from the factory one day. That'll be kind of interesting. So that's it. Some folks saying thanks. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for joining
Walter
us
says
today.
thank you.
And we're going to get back to work and get this tail rotor done. And thanks for being interested in Hillers. And if you have any questions, you can reach out through our website or Michael Tragarz at hilleraircraft.com. And we're glad to answer questions, support you, have you to the factory, have a picnic, whatever. we're glad you're interested in Hillers, and thanks for tuning in.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Yep.
Okay, thanks everybody. That's it. Bye.